Call to order of this meeting of the Goodyear City Council, 11 June 2007. All council members are in attendance. We're going to proceed now to an invocation, followed by the City of Goodyear Police Department Color Guard posting colors. Then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance, and then going to welcome Jacqueline Iceland, who will sing the national anthem for us. After that, the Color Guard will exit, and we'll proceed to the swearing in of the new officers. Would everyone rise, please, for the invocation? Lord, we are grateful for the opportunities that you have provided us through this city. We're grateful for the growth we have experienced and will continue to experience. We're grateful for the service of those who choose to serve, our staff and our council, and particularly we want to thank those being inaugurated this evening, Council Members Souza, Antoniak, and Osborne. Lord, we are grateful for our citizens, their support of the city, and their ideas. May we continue to be blessed with a spirit of cooperation and collaboration. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that
Before we take our seats, would we express our appreciation of the color guard and to Miss Iceland, please. Please take your seats. We have one item of communication. I'd like to introduce previous elected officials of the City of Goodyear, and would they stand when I introduce them, please? First off, we have Mayor Arnold and his wife, Joey. Councilmember Ken Porter and his wife, Dorothy. I believe Dorothy. Councilmember Sue Linney. There being no further business to be brought before this particular council, I declare this council and meeting to be adjourned, sine AD. We'll now move to swearing in the new members of the Goodyear City Council. I'd invite them to come forward individually, if they would, please. Once they come forward, they will receive the oath of office, and then they're offered the opportunity to make comments. Each one will be done again individually. We'll start with Councilmember Dick Souza. Dick? And our City Clerk, Dee Cockrum, will recite the oath of office.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Dee Cockrum,
I, Dick Souza,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will solemnly support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution and laws of the State of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the State of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and defend them against all enemies whatever,
and protect them against all enemies, whatever,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of council member,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of council member.
So I do affirm.
So I do affirm.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. Mayor, in your prayer, you pretty much stole my thunder. I appreciate those comments. Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, fellow council members, distinguished guests, and all you residents that are here this evening. Thank you again for permitting me to serve you in the capacity of council member. You have elected me to a third term, at the end of which I will have reached council term limits and joining the ranks of those individuals who have served this office in the past, some of whom are with us this evening. They are former Mayor Bill Arnold, council members Fred Amator, John Lynch, Ken Porter, and Stephanie Richmond. Let's give them a hand. In the past 8 years, I've always been supported by my family, especially my wife, Frida. Stand up, honey. Please.
Come on, Frida.
Stand up. And we have 7 children. My oldest daughter, Sharon, is with us this evening as well. Sharon, would you stand up? "14 years ago, if someone had said to me that I would be involved in leading a city of 50,000 people, I would have said to them, you're out of your mind. But here we are, and what a ride it's been. You've been an important part of our growth. You've been supportive of this council and decisions we have made, and I'm talking about you, the residents, moving us to this moment in time, and the horizon appears even brighter. To date, this is some of the progress we have made. Over 6 million square feet of retail development is underway. For example, Australia Falls Regional Shopping Center, Australia Crossroads, Goodyear Center Point, Pebble Creek Marketplace, Canyon Trails Town Center, Australia Commons, Goodyear Home Plaza, and Lifetime Fitness Center, and many more to come for your shopping convenience, making Goodyear the centerpiece of the West Valley and perhaps the state of Arizona. More importantly, this development will increase our sales tax revenue and also help relieve the taxpayer from the burden of higher real estate taxes. We are beginning to achieve the commitment I had made 8 years ago to the residents of this community, and that was that we would share sales tax and real estate taxes with not only ourselves, but with the commercial and industrial development. At long last, large employers are knocking on our doors. Federated Stores, which will be known as Macy's, has agreed to build a major West Coast distribution center and will employ, at peak, 800 full-time and part-time employees. Our city is poised to become the employment center of the West Valley. 3 major developments are now being formed that will greatly influence our city's future. Jobs will be here, not travel miles away. These are Grosse Pointe, which upon completion will cover 1,216 acres, Loop 303 Employment Center, utilizing 750 acres, the 80/85 Employment Center, covering 1,700 acres. Why all of a sudden is this interest in Goodyear happening? I believe this is due to our successful pursuits of the Cleveland Indians as a part of the Arizona Cactus League and the invitation to private colleges to establish campuses in Goodyear, thanks to our mayor and staff. These have become realities, and because of this, the city of Goodyear has gained national prominence. We will see baseball played in Goodyear in the year of 2009, and 2 private colleges will be breaking ground, and since agreements have been signed, to begin enrollment soon. You should know that I believe we have an employee base in the city second to none in the state. Every one of them, in every department, has been involved in the growth I've just told you about. We need to recognize them. Staff, would you stand up, please? I'd like to give you a hand. Early in my next term, I expect staff to move ahead in the planning of our city center. We've promised that construction was underway, but only to have another project put ahead of this much-needed facility. Our employees have waited long enough for proper working conditions. In the past few months, we've annexed an additional 68 square miles into the city. In doing this, we have a city within a city, and that city is called and pronounced Mobile. Last week, 3 members of the council, including myself, attended a pancake breakfast with our new neighbors. It was hosted by members of our fire department and their wives, who are assigned to provide protection to this area. We invited these folks to our inaugural ceremonies, and I would hope that they are here this evening. Kit and the school board from Mobile, please stand. Welcome again. What is the state of the city as I see it? Recent budgetary accounting reports find the city in a highly sound financial position. I believe the council continues to function well, Members are very cooperative in making sound decisions for the betterment of our community. We have not and will not be pressured by outside sources. During the past year, we ran into a bump in the road. Sound minds prevailed. We admitted the mistakes that we made. We smoothed them over, and we moved on. For our positive action in this matter, we were applauded by representatives of the state government, our peers in other communities, and by the media for our corrective actions. During the course of my election campaign, I contacted over 180 residents. I asked them how they viewed the performance of their city council. Were they satisfied with the direction the city was going? 178 said we were doing well. They were happy with their city. They felt safe and secure here 24 hours a day. Hearing that, I was happy too. This election year began with 12 citizens taking out nominating petitions to fill 3 vacant council seats. When the deadline for submitting petitions was reached, only 3 candidates filed and became eligible for election. Those 3 are here this evening to take the oath of office. My friends, membership in the City Council is not to be taken lightly. The position requires many hours of personal time and a serious devotion to the task of leadership and keeping at heart the best interest of our community. It is not just attending 1 or 2 meetings a month. There is much, much more involved. I am personally involved and spend 20 to 24 hours a week in performance of these duties. My peers are doing the same, and in some instances, they're doing more. Again, it has been my pleasure serving you and our community during the past 8 years. Thank you again for electing me to another 4-year term. I love Goodyear, and I hope you do too. It's a city with a proud past, a vibrant future, and all of us are feeling the connection because Goodyear is where we live. Thank you.
Would Councilmember Rob Antoniak please step forward?
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, D. Cochran,
I, Rob Antoniak,
do affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the State of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the State of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies whatever,
and defend them against all enemies, whatever,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of council member
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of council member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So I do affirm.
So I do affirm.
Congratulations.
Well, I think Dick stole all our thunder this evening. He pretty much rattled off all the statistics that are going on in the city. But good evening, Mayor, council members, staff, and fellow elected officials and former elected officials. 4 years ago, I stood here as a community. Goodyear was approaching 30,000 people. Today, we're 50,000, cresting 50,000. In 2003, Goodyear had 2 fire stations. Today, we have 4, and we're building a few more. In 2003, Goodyear had just over 30 police officers. Today we have 50. And we were going to add 8, but thanks to some leadership on council, we're adding a few more, and next year we'll add more than 10. In 2003, we had a little bit of retail up and down Litchfield Road and McDowell Road, and today, as you heard from my fellow council member Sousa, we're adding millions of square feet more, including Estrella Falls Mall, it's a tongue twister, and our spring training facility, to name a few. Then Goodyear had 10,000 registered voters. Today, or at last count that it mattered to three of us up here. We had 25,000 registered voters, and I'm sure we're adding more every day. Before 2003, I think the Goodyear City Council had 1-hour meetings. Today we have 8-hour meetings, and I'm not sure that that's an accomplishment necessarily, maybe just representative of our loquaciousness, or mine. 2003, Goodyear was 130 square miles, and as you heard earlier this evening, we added a few honored residents down south in the 68 square miles that we added in the very not so distant past, within the last month. Add all this up, and what do we have? We have challenges, good challenges, challenges I think we can handle, and challenges that, if faced head-on, will put Goodyear above the rest of the valley. I'm proud to say that since being elected, we have actively engaged Goodyear residents, making the public process and policy-making environment much more accessible than it was when we entered office. Through the efforts of this mayor and my fellow council members, we have initiated more citizen committees than past councils, more communication efforts, and utilized technology to communicate with Goodyear residents. As an example, you can view live today on the internet our meetings as they go on, and look at them in the past if you want to engage in the city council process. While obviously anything we do is a team effort between mayor and council, I can honestly say that this young guy had a little bit to do with the technology efforts that we've put forth over the last 4 years. These, among many other efforts in terms of citizen engagement, have resulted in the mayor and council having a better understanding of what the citizens expect from their public safety professionals, what the citizens expect their taxes to support and pay for, how they expect to plan and use our water resources, and how they want their city center to look, when they want it, and what they want in it, and a comprehensive look and recommendations for our trash and recycling program. I took a awful great pleasure in the council supporting me in that effort, and to date we're diverting 30% of our trash in Goodyear to recycling. Last count from what I heard from our staff this afternoon was we've diverted, since the inception of the program, 4,600 tons of recycling through our curbside recycling program established just last year. As mayor and council, we need to continue and discuss the challenges and opportunities we face in developing Goodyear in a responsible and sustainable manner. One such area, as my fellow council member noted this evening, is in employment. For those of us that commute 10, 20, 30 miles each way to work on a daily basis, employment close to home is becoming an increasingly important issue. And I would argue that it's vital to our success in our community. If we're truly going to make Goodyear a great place for everyone to live, we need to bring quality employment opportunities to Goodyear over the next several years. How are we going to do that? I think right now we're taking the steps, and the foundation was laid by the people in front of us, to establish opportunities such as universities, baseball, retail development, commercial development, and much more. These activities, if high quality and business friendly, will grab the attention of the next CEO, CFO, or decision maker as it relates to their business expansion needs, thus creating more employment in Goodyear. I committed to Goodyear voters 4 years ago that I would work with this mayor and council to ensure we have superior public safety, adequate transportation, and engaged public and civic communication programs. We've made great strides and achievements over the last 4 years, and I imagine there's a lot more room for many more strides over the next several years. I'm dedicated to those items I made a personal commitment on, as well as the ones that we currently have in front of us today. Over the next 4 years, I hope to strengthen my ability to learn quickly, judge items on their merits, ensure that our decisions benefit the city of Goodyear, old and new, and most of all, continue listening to the voters of Goodyear. If we, the mayor and council, stay on the current positive course, act as great ambassadors for Goodyear, play as a team, continue to empower our staff, and don't get too impatient, we'll realize incredible benefits and opportunities for Goodyear's and its residents in the years ahead. Last but not least, as I sit here every Monday with my family, or extended family, as I might say, Monday nights, it takes or at ribbon cuttings, or rubbing elbows with university professionals or Major League Baseball professionals. There are a few teammates of mine that go unnoticed. My wife is here this evening. I won't ask him to stand, but she bears the brunt of those Monday nights or the other evenings as we're raising 2 young children at home, Ashley and Robbie. And my folks are also here with me this evening. I appreciate you being here. Together, they pull up the slack at home, and I'm very grateful for their efforts in making it possible for me to serve the citizens of Goodyear. Thank you, and I look forward to another 4 years of successful endeavors.
now ask Councilmember Osborne if she would step forward, please, and also would her husband Ken join us on the podium.
Not that I like to shake things up. I have my Bible. Oh, see, I messed it all up. Okay, you have to put that up there. We didn't practice this.
Raise your right hand, please.
Okay, now I messed up. Okay, all right. There we go. Now I got okay.
You repeat after me.
Yes.
I, D. Cochran,
I, Joanne Osborne,
do affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
do affirm that I support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies whatever,
and defend them against all enemies, whatever,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of councilwoman
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of councilman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So I do affirm.
So I do affirm.
You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here this evening. I don't have a lot of stats, being kind of the new kid on the block. Just a few personal things to say and give thanks, and some vision that I might have for our city. Last couple of months have been exciting. I've been asked quite a few questions by people what the vision I have for our city would be, what committees or commissions would I like to see our city start. A few people have asked me how in the world I'm going to do everything that I that I put on my plate, and lastly, of course, am I crazy? I will start off with the fact that I am not crazy, but I don't know. After the end of 4 years, they seem pretty sane still, so I think everything will work out okay.
Just wait.
Just wait. Okay. This is a very important job, and I take it seriously, and I will do my best. My vision for our city is fairly simple. I'd like to see the full spectrum, the best of everything, from the top corporate headquarters with CEOs that need glamorous homes, to restaurants and shops that cater to all tastes and budgets. We need affordable and workforce housing, but that doesn't mean that they have to be ugly and of low quality. Even the people considering Walmart at the low end of our spectrum, if you look at our Walmart, it's probably the best that you'll see around the nation. And, you know, that's kind of the whole spectrum, and I really think that we can be the best for everyone. As for special committees and commissions, these are really where my passions are. And I have been a teen leader for the last year and a half for the YMCA, and I really believe that our youth is very important, and I could go on and on about that. So I would like to see that our city start a youth commission. For the past few years, I have been training and participating, and I say participating, I don't say actually being in the race, but I've been training for marathons, and I would sure like to see that our city take a proactive approach towards health and fitness, and what we can do to encourage our citizens in that realm. Also, third, and probably one of my more passionate areas, is about our deserts and mountains. If you were to look around this room and ask many people, where are you from, or where's your family from, most people would say, oh, we moved here in 19 something or another, or maybe some of you were born here, but your parents all came from Kansas or something like that. Well, mine's kind of a boring life. I was born here, my father was born here, my grandparents were born here, my great-grandmother was born here, so I don't have a lot to say in that. In fact, my poor children don't have even less to say because both their parents are born here, and that's pretty exciting. My little girl, though, I have to give a little story that I thought was pretty funny. A couple years ago, she had to fill out a paper for class that said where she was born and what was her favorite sport and that type of thing. And the teacher caught up with me a couple days later and said, what island did you live on? And I said, what do you mean, island? And she said, your daughter was born in Hawaii. And I said, no, my daughter was born here in Arizona. And I come to find out she didn't think that was very exciting, that everybody else in class was from somewhere else and she was only from Arizona. But I really think that my family will realize that it's quite an honor to be such an Arizona history of being a fifth generation. But that leads back to the fact that I really believe a lot of desert dirt is in my lungs, and I guess that leads me to want to protect and preserve them. And so I would truly like to see that, especially with the Estrella Mountains and our newly loved Sonoran Valley, that we will be really taking an active approach at preserving and watching over, and it's a responsibility that our city needs to have. Mine's kind of short. And lastly, most of all, when it comes to how am I going to do all this? How am I going to raise 4 children and have a business and be a team leader and train for marathons? Really, the only way I can do it is the fact that I have a great support team. I have employees that have truly stepped up to the plate and known that what I'm doing, they're behind me and they're running the show, and I really thank you guys for that. And I have children that are phenomenal, and they've been very mature and independent. I am a little nervous about the fact that my eldest, that is just graduated, is leaving to NAU, and I lost my taxi driver, so I might need a little help with carpooling. But I'm very excited and honored to be here. I'm honored that our voters voted for me, and I'm honored that I had supporters that truly believe in the things that I can do for our city. But lastly, I'd like to thank my husband, because if he didn't support me, and I know how much he's having to take care of, I couldn't do this, and most of all, I wouldn't do this. And so I really appreciate everything that you all are doing, and I thank you very much.
D.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, members of the public, I present to you your new council members, Dick Sousa, Rob Antoniak, and Joanne Osborne.
I'd now like to call to order the meeting of this council and ask the city clerk if she would read the roll call, please. Here.
Vice Mayor Cavalier,
Aye.
Councilmember Sousa,
Here.
Councilmember Antoniak,
Here.
Councilmember Osborne,
Here.
Councilmember Holland,
Here.
Councilmember Lord,
Here.
all present.
Okay. Thank you very much. Opportunity now for anyone in the public who would like to make a comment on a non-agenda item for this evening. Would anyone like to speak? Okay, we'll move to the business part of our agenda. We only have one item, and that's to elect a new vice mayor. I'd like to pass that to our existing vice mayor, but first I would like to thank Frank Cavalier for Frank, for everything you've done for us the last 2 years. This is generally a 2-year tour of duty, and Frank's completing his 2 years. You've always been available to each one of us. And what I find most admirable, I think, is your devotion and your dedication to the people of this city. It is very, very obvious day in and day out. And from a personal perspective, Frank, you are a person I trust, and I value you very much. I want to say thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. And with that, I'd like to continue the tradition that was started. I believe a former council member sitting in the audience that began this tradition, if I'm not, I won't mention his name, but he's sitting in the back row. But with that, every year we nominate and elect a new vice mayor. And with that, I would like to nominate Rob Antoniak as the new vice mayor for the city of Goodyear.
Second.
I have a motion from Vice Mayor Cavalier and a second from Councilmember Souza. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to elect Councilmember Antoniak as our new vice mayor signify by stating aye, please.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimously. Rob, congratulations. And with the new vice mayor comes the changing our seating pattern. So would you assume your new seats, please?
Just don't kick me.
As we do at each one of our meetings, we end the meeting with giving an opportunity to each council member to express their views or talk to us about their current activities. Would anyone like to speak regarding that, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
thank you for this opportunity. I, too, would like to thank Frank for his dedication to the office of vice mayor. Being in that position, I know it's a tedious job, and Frank has devoted a tremendous amount of hours in supporting you and supporting this council, and certainly supporting me as well in some of the committees that he and I share. Well, Frank, again, thank you so much on behalf of myself and the entire council.
Thank you.
I'd echo those, but nobody told me it was a tedious job until today, so now I'm...
You wait, son.
Yeah. No, but thank you for the vote of confidence and appreciate it. I'm also concerned that there's maybe a little bit more trouble down at that end of the table than before. So, anyhow, we'll leave that for future council meetings. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I also want to thank Frank for all his work, but he's not going away.
Right. Exactly.
It sounds like we're saying goodbye to him. So you're still here, and we're still going to bug you. So keep up with the good work.
Looking forward to it.
And I think since I've been sitting next to Frank, I've learned a lot about council protocols, et cetera, and he kind of keeps the whole council in line. So thank you very much.
Now I see the agenda.
Okay. And I know all of us are optimistic about having Rob as our vice mayor. So, again, congratulations, Rob. You certainly deserved this, and you have a great future ahead of you. Opportunity now for the city manager and staff to comment.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to move to adjourn the meeting, but I do want to say that once we adjourn the meeting, if you would join all of us in the dining room just out the door and to your right. But before we do that, we're going to be blessed again by Jacqueline Iceland, who is going to sing God Bless America. And Jacqueline, we thank you very much for doing this. Jacqueline's done this before, and we just love to hear your voice. So thank you. Would everyone stand, please?
Thank you.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless
America,
land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline, and thank everyone tonight for sharing your time with us this evening. Thank you.